New Chevy Camaro to join Buick and Cadillac sedans. Okay, y'all, hold on one second. Hold on. I hate to tell you this, but 1 year ago, I told you so. I told you that sedans are not going no fucking where.
Yeah.
What's going on, y'all? It's your boy Blackhawk Bond 007 back here with another video. You know the vibes. Subscribe. If you don't bite, give me a like. That's right. Become a Blackhawk right here, right now. If you like what I do, I got the latest and the greatest police chases, POV test drives, car tutorials, car news, and car reviews. Let's get into it. We got a new news for here. Chevy, General Motors is coming back with not one, not two, but possibly 3 sedans. GM must have heard me talking shit for 365 fucking days straight. Because I told you the disdain that I have for General Motors with that POS CEO, and I can't talk shit about her anymore. I can't call her a POS anymore. Because I told y'all that we want sedans. You know you want sedans. The American automaker said, y'all want SUVs. And I told y'all that they are still making our sedans in China. China. Okay? China. Yet the Asians are still making their sedans. They never stopped making them over here. So what we have here is some news from Car and Driver. And just so we get this into the nitty gritty, before we get into this, if you like to hear beautiful car news or car reviews, make sure you support me. The best way you can support me is to click the subscribe button. I will be giving news like this every single week. New car news for vehicles that's going to be in the pipeline, coming out soon, 2026 fall, 2027, 2030 and beyond. I'm going to be giving y'all news all the time. And if there's anything that you want me to talk about, drop it in the comment section. But today, we're going to talk about the new Chevy Camaro that's coming back. And it might be coming back as a sedan. Let's talk about it. Okay, so it says report a new Chevy Camaro will join Buick and Cadillac sedans. So let's talk about it. It says a new report says that a next generation Camaro, next generation Cadillac CT5, and a new Buick sedan will be assembled in the U.S. in just 2 years' time. Okay, so here's the current Camaro. All right, and it says a new Chevy Camaro will be built alongside the Buick sedan and the next generation Cadillac CT5, according to a new report from Automotive News. The 3 vehicles will share a platform, expected to be an updated version of the Alpha architecture currently found in the Cadillac CT4 and CT5. Production is set to start at GM's factory in Lansing, Michigan in fall of 2027. While SUVs and pickup trucks dominate the lineups of the 4 brands under the General Motors umbrella, there is still a place for cars at the automotive giant. There is still a place for cars at the automotive giant. There is still a place for cars at the automotive giant. What I fucking tell y'all? I post, look at the time, look at the stamp right there. Do y'all see that? Look at the time stamp that I did this video. I was the first. I've been telling y'all sedans is not dead. It ain't going nowhere. And you know what's going to happen? Their sales is going to freaking plummet. It's going to take one to lead the charge and the others will follow. GM has been chasing the ghost of Tupac since the beginning of time. All the way from the 90s. They've been chasing the European. They cannot stand seeing others win. Dodge was the first to say, look, to be honest, Dodge never got rid of cars. Ford and GM was the only ones to do it. Ford, I will give them respect. They were the only automaker that did not go to bankruptcy. They at least kept the Mustang, and they at least kept the manual. Chevy General Motors got rid of damn near everything. Dodge never gave up on us, but you can cut Dodge some slack because you're always going to have Dodge as a niche brand, so they have to have that. That is the bloodline. You can't have all SUVs in Dodge. Like, there will just be no company without that. You cannot say Dodge without saying Charger, Challenger, or some type of muscle car, or even muscle car. It gotta be in the portfolio. I don't care how many sales you get off of a Dodge Avenger that used to be here, or Dodge Dart, that piece of shit. You know what I'm saying? If there is no car, muscle car, in their portfolio, you have a dead brand. So the fact that Dodge is keeping this alive in the coupe goes to show you that there is still a market for cars. Toyota's about to bring a full lineup of vehicles. Coupes, y'all. Just 2 doors. Let's get back to this right here. So it says last fall, Cadillac confirmed that it was working on a next generation CT5 sedan. And last month, a report alleged that Buick is working on a new US-bound sedan. Now, according to a new report from Automotive News, the new Buick sedan and Cadillac CT5 will be joined by a next generation Camaro sports car with production happening sooner than you might expect. Automotive News cites an anonymous source at a major GM supplier who claims that the 3 cars will share a platform. All 3 cars will be built at the Lansing Grand River Assembly Plant in Michigan, which currently builds the Cadillac CT5 and CT4, which production of the latter ended in the next couple of months. The Camaro was built in Lansing until it was discontinued after the 2024 model year. We reached out to Chevrolet and Buick for comment, and both companies declined to provide a statement. Of course they did. The source also stated that the CT5 and Camaro will begin production in fall of 2027, with plans to assemble between 60,000 and 75,000 units combined annually. Details about the planned start of production for the Buick sedan remain unknown, but the source stated that GM has requested quotes for important parts for its main suppliers for the Buick. No other details were provided on the Camaro, Buick sedan, or CT5, but we expect the cars to ride on an updated version of the Alpha platform that underpins the CT5 and CT4 and was found under the last Camaro. When Cadillac confirmed the CT5 will return, when Cadillac confirmed the CT5 would return, when Cadillac confirmed the CT5 will return, it said the car will feature internal combustion powertrains, and we expect all 3 models to opt for gas instead of electric power. Not even a hybrid, y'all. What I tell you, combustion engines ain't dead either. And full-blown combustion, not hybrid. A V8 remains a possibility for high-performance versions of the CT5 Camaro, with GM investing $888 million into a plant in Buffalo, New York last year to build a next-generation small-block V8. At the time, GM said that this engine was destined for full-size trucks and SUVs, but since then, GM has announced a new 6.7-liter V8 for the 2027 Corvette Stingray and Grand Sport. A version of this engine could appear in the Camaro and next-generation CT5B Blackwing. They don't have to worry about the Corvette being touched no more because of the heights that they've gone with, the horsepower, the torque. You got 1,250 horsepower Corvette 01X. So they could bring back a whole plethora of vehicles that's not going to touch the Corvette. This is not asking too much, but bring back Pontiac. That is your true competitor to Dodge. Now let's see what Mark Roos does, because I promise you that Mary Barra ain't have shit to do with this. So, it says if reports of a Buick sedan prove true, this will be the first time Buick has sold a non-SUV model in the United States since the Regal. Here is the Regal, y'all. Beautiful car. And one of my new personal cars is coming up soon, and I'm going to announce it. Your boy might be getting a Buick. More on that later. If the reports of a Buick sedan prove true, this will be the first time Buick has sold a non-SUV in the United States since the Regal, which was discontinued after the 2020 model year, and had actually morphed from a sedan into a hatchback. The Alpha platform also means the sedan could be offered with rear-wheel drive. Rear-wheel drive Buick car has been sold since the Roadmaster was discontinued after 1996. Although the short-lived Rainier SUV did offer rear-wheel drive between 2004 and 2007. Right now, details are sparse, but if the 2027 start of production for the CT5 and Camaro is true. More information should emerge on this trio of new American-made cars from GM over the next year. We hope the Buick sedan takes some inspiration from the 1950 space agent styling of last year's Electra Orbit concept, pinned by GM's Chinese Advanced Design Studio. All right, y'all, let's talk about it. I want to know in the comment section, which one of the three in this trio would you buy? Would you buy the Chevy? Would you buy the Buick? And would you buy the Cadillac? And give me a detailed explanation why. Make sure you click the subscribe button. Here's my synopsis on this, okay? I did an entire post, okay, that said Buick. I said, not Buick. I said the return of the V8, return of sedans, and return of a manual. Here is my perspective on what is going to happen. And I told y'all not if, but when sedans make a return. Go play my video, quote my words. I will tell you I told you so. Almost a year ago. Okay? Here's what I think is going to happen with Chevrolet. Let's talk about the Camaro, because I know that is probably the most hyped and most anticipated product. I think the Camaro will very much possibly come in a coupe first. And I think they also will bring it back as a sedan to be the direct replacement for the last Chevy SS that they had. Here is my take for inspiration on how it should be designed. You take the 90s Camaro with that almost fox body, almost like design with that hatchback. You take that and make a modern coupe, okay? Then you take a little inspiration from that and you morph it into a sedan. Make the sedan a traditional trunk. You don't have to necessarily compete with the Charger just because it has a hatchback. Give it a little bit of design flair, but the coupe, make it a blast from the mid-90s, a blast from the past. I think, and find a way to make it modern design language. I think that'll be great. Let that pave the way for future design language for any other economy sedans that follows up after that, because you're going to need another Malibu or something like that based on that. And that's where they took the design direction for the 2013 Chevy Malibu when they did that emergency redesign. They Camaro'd all the things in some type of way, shape, or form. You've seen it in the headlights. Not the headlights, the taillights. Camaro-esque cues, which was pretty much the design language for a lot of the vehicles around that time. And then they had small iterations of that. If you looked at the Impala, they was tweaked a little bit, like when they redesigned that, and the Cruise. They had little Camaro-esque cues in their cars. Look at the design language. You'll see what I'm talking about. So it's a little bit of Camaro on a lot of those vehicles. I think that's the same direction GM should go. Take a little page out of that book. Don't make a baby Camaro, you know what I mean? Like in economy cars, I think that'd be corny. You don't want to dilute the image of the Camaro, especially if you're going to sell it in a duo. I think it's going to be a coupe and a sedan. The Buick, this is where I think Buick is going to go. I don't think Buick is going to bring back the Regal. But I do think that it's possible that they might, if they bring back a sedan, I think it's going to have a brand new name. And I'm kind of disappointed because I think that's where they want to go. I think that they should bring back an old school name. They could do like a Park Avenue. I mean, like literally something blast from the past. I think it's going to be a full-size sedan. And I think they're going to try to compete, pull a Buick LaCrosse like they did in '08, the first generation LaCrosse that came out, a full-size sedan, and compete against a mid-size Lexus ES. I think that is improper competition. GM does this dumb shit all the time where they make their most premium sedan compete against a mid-level Lexus. And it's not the top of the line, but their best is competing with their mid. Stop disrespecting yourselves, GM. Do it right this time. Or they can go stupid and bring a GNX name. Do y'all think they're going to bring back the Buick GNX? There is only one direction that Buick can go if they do a GNX. They must unveil a coupe version. However, this is why I don't think the GNX is going to make a return. Because if they bring a GNX, say bye-bye to the cells in your Camaro. They cannot overlap each other. They have to have equal amount of volume and cells for all three products. So I don't think the GNX name is coming back. I think y'all can get your panties out the bunch. The GNX name, I think, will forever be dead. I may be wrong, but I think I know what I'm talking about. I halfway know what I'm talking about. Here's what I think about Cadillac. Cadillac is going to be exactly what you expect it to be. New CT5, powertrains. The only thing that I'm hoping that they do is bring, at least for the Cadillac, bring back the manual. I have no doubt that there will be a manual for the Buick. There will not be a manual for the Buick. That is my take on it. But I think they should bring a manual back for the Camaro. You could make it a limited production. You know, or you could do it by request. You don't have to just throw manuals on the lots. You can request a manual and then they'll build it like that. And then you can see how the cells go like that. That's another way to do it. But I think manual should 100% come back. And I think it's a strong possibility, 60% chance a manual will come back on the next CT5E Blackwing. Don't tell me that they're not going to shoot for another M5 competitor. Because honestly, I love the M5. But I love the Blackwing a whole lot better. And it's more of a beautiful design. BMW is working on their facelift, major facelift for the 5 Series. And from what I'm seeing before, it looks like it's going to be a lot more better. It's going to be, the facelift is going to be based on their Neue class design language, which is shaping up BMW to be a lot more softer than their approach that they took on their aggressive design language. And I do like the direction that they're going, smaller kidney grills. But I think Cadillac is going to have another Blackwing, and they should also have a manual. And you could do the same thing, make it built to order. So if you request the manual, they'll make the manual, but they won't put a bunch of them on the lots and waste their money. And you know what I mean? I get that. And then you'll see from there if the demand really is there for the return of manuals. That's how you do that. So yeah, man. So let me know what y'all think about this. I told you sedans are coming back, and I said not if but when it happens. I told you so. Guess what? I'm gonna fix these glasses a little bit. I told you so. If you know the vibes, hit the subscribe. If you don't bite, give me a like. Give the video a big thumbs up. Drop a comment in the comment section below. Let's talk about this, y'all. Let me know in the comments. I'm going to be all in the comments. Which one would you like to see? Hit the subscribe button when you drop a comment. Share this to somebody, because we got to talk about GM. I grew up on GM. My heart goes to, you know, I'm a Mopar guy now. And thanks to my amazing Mopar community. But my heart went to GM. That's what I grew up on. GM and Nissan. My grandmother had I used to snatch her keys. I used to hang on the trees in her backyard as a kid. Then I used to take the keys and open up the garage door. The garage was separate from the house. So the garage was in the backyard. The house in the backyard. Garage, backyard, house. And then the garage was in the back. Separate from the house. And I used to open up the garage, and I used to love that dusty smell. And I used to see that peach color looking, pinkish looking 84 Pontiac 6000 sitting in the driveway. Yeah, I love the smell. I used to just stare at that car in amazement. Go to the trunk. You would lift up the logo, and it was the door that swung open, and it hid the key slot to open up the trunk. You would lift the logo, the Pontiac logo up, and it would be hiding the key slot to open the trunk up. I love that car, man. I've had a love for Pontiac ever since. My grandmother had a 98 Chevy Lumina. I have grown up on General Motors. That's why I'm so disappointed in the direction GM has gone. But it's never too late to say I apologize. This is how you apologize. And until next time, Mark Roos, get in touch with me. Holla at your boy. Let's talk about this in the comment section. Hit the subscribe button if you like this type of content. If you want to hear more GM news, I'll see if I can get some sources. And I'll see y'all on the next video. Blackhawkbond.com is your new automotive news website compared to that of Car and Driver, Road and Track, Motor Trend, Car Scoops. This is your new automotive news website for all of your car news and car reviews, from U.S. automaker news to non-U.S. automaker news as foreign news, and a dedicated page for all of your Mopar news articles as well too. Tips on what and what not to do when buying and selling a car, consumer stories, spy photos of future vehicles, videos as well too, future products coming out in 2026, product reviews, all that here on BlackhawkBond007.com. BlackhawkBond007.com is your new automotive news website. Check it out for all of your automotive needs.
Kind of makes me wonder why the hell so many people are trying to tell me to slow down. Seems like motherfuckers should be shutting the hell up and enjoying the show.